Hey y'all, well, we have got a ton of information this week going on with the Appalachian Trail through hikers. We got tons of hikers that are reporting in, a hiker or two that's starting, and several that are getting off for good. We got bear reports. We got the Sadie update, the lost hiker dog out there. We got more information on her and just all kind of information coming in, all kind of news and stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So we got Slinky. He's a new updater to the channel, and he is just rolled into the Shanties at the beginning of mid of this week, and so he may be on the northern end of the Shanties, but he's a new updater, so hopefully we'll keep hearing information from him. Gadget Girl, she has made it through the Grayson Highlands, Mount Rogers area. Got to play with the ponies up there just a little bit, or hopefully she didn't touch them, because you're not supposed to feed them or touch them or any of that. And we know that kind of happens, so, but please don't do that. But in any case, she should have made it through Mount Rogers by now and on the northern end. Nichols, he is in Roxylvania, and he sent in this before and after picture. So he had tried in 2021 to do a flip-flop, and he had left from Swanatara State Park there in Pennsylvania, and he made it almost to Maine, just 4 miles short in New Hampshire before he had to get off due to injury. So on his current Nobo hike, he has made it to where he started his flip-flop in 2021. So he's got this, sent us this before and after picture, and what a difference 3 years makes in a person, right? But he's made it back to that point then, and interesting enough, he said it was almost on the exact same day when he started that flip-flop in 2021 when he made it there on this particular time. So I thought that was pretty interesting. He is getting real close to Stick the Eagle, and matter of fact, my understanding is they're going to get together and hang out for a zero one day. So that is awesome to see thru hikers get together out there on the trail that haven't been hiking together but have been updating us on a regular basis, and then them catch up to each other and get to hang out some. So very cool. Marie, she reports in that Night Shift, who updated us last week, he is on his calendar year Triple Crown, and he has made it to the Notch in New Hampshire. So calendar year Triple Crown is, of course, if you don't know what that is, he is trying to do all 3 big trails of the Triple Crown in the same calendar year. So that's the Appalachian Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, the CDT, and the PCT, which is the Pacific Crest Trail. So he is trying to do all of that in one calendar year. And there's several other folks out there that are doing that as well. But they have, as far as my knowledge is, the other 3, and there's 4 of them, I believe. The other 3 have already went out to other trails, so they didn't want to have to deal with the winter conditions on the AT. And so we saw last week where Night Shift had gone through a lot of snow there in Vermont. So he's now in New Hampshire, and not sure if he's made it through the Whites or not. Not as familiar with that area as I am stuff south of there. And so somebody make a comment and let me know if he has made it through the Whites, if he's at the Notch hostel there in New Hampshire. And then Tick Maggot, he has made it through Mount Rogers, and he sends in this video.
Hey Ramdino, it's Tick Magnet, and I'm up to mile 512.2 at Fox Creek Trail crossing right now, and actually tonight I'm in Marion doing some resupplying. Last week you mentioned that Cloud Chaser was with me, but unfortunately she quit on April 17th. So she's no longer in the group, Bunny also is having knee problems, and she's remained back in Damascus. So, but I'm pressing on. I'm looking forward to getting up here to Interstate 81 in a couple days. So having a lot of fun, and thank you for all you're doing. Bye.
Bluegrass and Chuck, they have crossed the 700-mile mark, and they have completed the Triple Crown. They're currently taking a zero in Delville and continuing on to head north. So good luck to them as they continue. They've been updating us on a regular basis as well. Sweet Potato, she is north of Marion, and she sends in this video.
Taking a little break. I just walked out of Marion, and I packed out a lot of town food. So I have cucumbers and peppers. I have some hummus. I have some root vegetable chips. And I also packed out an avocado, a bagel, some oranges and apples and bananas. For those of you who follow me on Wandering with Wilson, you'll know that I got sick on trail, and the doctor seems to think it's trail food and the corn syrup and things like that. So I'm back to trying to eat healthy, which means that I carry a lot of extra food weight, but I feel better. So that's the update from me. Just heading towards Woods Hole Hostel, I think is my next stop.
That is an amazing amount of food, town food or grocery food that she has packed out. So definitely better to stay healthy out there on the trail if you can. The garbage food that we eat, from dehydrated junk and just all the tuna sides and nor sides that you eat, they're just total junk. And that's what takes a lot of people off the trail, is nutrition. So hopefully that will work out great for her, even though all of that food obviously weighs a whole lot more than what normal food is. Carrie, she has gotten her trail name, and her trail name is Caboose, and she is probably north of Roan Mountain, the town of Roan Mountain. She stayed there at one of the hostels there in town. She said she is having a blast out there on the trail, and she started March 22nd. And one of the things that she showed here was that she stayed at the Over Mountain Shelter. Of course, the Over Mountain Shelter is torn down by the ATC and the local trail club and the National Forest Service, so that shelter there is no more. But what she did take was a picture of this pile of wood, and some of that wood still has the red paint on it. I would love to have a piece of that wood. If anybody's going through that area and wouldn't mind toting a piece of that wood, and I don't need a big piece, I just want a piece for memorabilia of that of the Over Mountain Shelter with the red paint on it. If you could send that to me, I'd be glad to reimburse you for postage or whatever, but I'd love to have a piece of that wood with the red paint on it from the Over Mountain Shelter. And I assume they've left it there for people to have fires or something, because the shelter's been torn down now for several months. So not sure why they still got it left there, but send me a piece of that wood, maybe with a nail in it or something. That'd be awful cool. But anyway, 111, he is closing in on Waynesboro and has crossed over the James River, and he is also, in this video, indicated he's going to be staying at Max Creek Shelter. I stayed there a couple weeks ago when I did a hike through that area, so that was very cool to see him there. And what was really cool about that particular shelter was that when we had a fire there last year, the firemen hiked into it, presumably through the fire, and saved that shelter and the privy. So that was really neat just to see that again. Slow-mo is now Piercy, and he has made it through the Smokies and is probably north of Hot Springs, and he is hiking with Homespun and Doogie. Michael, he left the approach on April 14th, and he may be in the Smokies by now, sending in a late update. He had a few zeros and some angry Achilles tendons and some plantar fasciitis that he has been dealing with, and believe me, I know exactly what that's like, because I have dealt with plantar fasciitis really since I got back on trail 3 or 4 years ago and started hiking in earnest. But he did pick up some new kicks there in Franklin, and says his legs have been much better ever since. Matt Hermit, he is north of mile 610. He indicates that he's had somewhere around 3 to 10 hikers in the shelters with him at night, and he sends in this video.
Hey Ramdino, it's Matt Hermit checking in with you. Tomorrow should be taking a zero at Weary Feet Hostel, mile 610. The weather's been nice for us, and the trail conditions are good. A little rain predicted next few days, but nothing that would get in our way. And it's a beautiful morning here on top of a mountain in Virginia. Thanks again for all you do. I'll talk to you soon.
Stick the Eagle, he is north of Duncannon, sends in this video with information on the Beaver Dam and the pond there that is north of Duncannon. It's been there for a couple years now.
Hey Ramdino, it is Stick the Eagle here. We are past Duncannon, Pennsylvania, and we just crossed the Beaver Dam right after Roush Gap, about mile 1180 or so. And it is crossable. There are enough logs down to cross it with keeping your feet dry. There is a detour around if you're worried about logs that sometimes move in the water, but I was able to cross at Nobo. Some other people I've crossed by said they were able to cross at Sobo without getting wet. So just to note, in that Beaver Dam, it is possible, but during high water, I'm not so sure. You have to be prepared for those logs moving, so go slow. But having a great time out here. We'll be crossing 1,200 and less than 1,000 to Katahdin. Let's keep hiking northbound.
He says it's only a couple hundred feet across the actual dam, but there's like 4 to 6 inches of standing water on the ground after the dam, and so but somebody's put down logs that you can walk on. There is a bypass there that is dry that you can take that, but he just said he preferred to take the White Blaze Trail across there instead of that Blue Blaze. He said the Blue Blaze route is only about a 6/10 of a mile longer than the wet version. And he says that he is only about 1,000 miles or less from Katahdin. That's got to be an awesome feeling to be in the 3-digit mileage numbers and be from Katahdin. So congratulations for him. Boomerang is north of Port Clinton, and he sends in this video.
Hey Ramdino, Boomerang here. Here in northern Pennsylvania, heading into Port Clinton. As you can see, a lot of wide open forest here for once, which is really nice. I haven't seen too many people, 5 northbound through hikers, 1 section hiker, and a bunch of day hikers, but from what I hear, some of the young folks that are moving fast are coming up this way. I hope to make it into New Jersey by this weekend and see what's going on with the Delhi tour. But thanks for what you do. I keep you posted. Still moving from 18 to 20 miles a day. Take care.
Spurs has gotten on the trail, and this is his second through hike. He was hiker number this year, number 2,596, and he started on April 29th. So he's a late starter. And when he was 360 pounds when he started the AT in 2020, and said he lost over 100 pounds. Now, he's a big boy anyway. He's about 6'2". But that is a tremendous amount of weight to lose, 100 pounds.
Hey Ramdino, Spurs here at Emilicola State Park. Just got my hang tag. It's about noon on April 29th. Headed to Springer Mountain right now, driving to Springer and then starting from there. Got my hang tag. I am 2,596, so good number. I was a little bit lower in 2020, but excited to get going, and here we are ready for the journey.
And just as an idea of where we are with hikers compared to last year and this year, at this time last year on this date, when he gave us his date of April 29th, he was hiker number 2,596, and we were at hiker number 3,141. So that just shows you the difference of how we've gotten less people this year than we did last year. Master Splinter, he is north of Harpers Ferry. Took a couple zeros off there to be with his wife. She came up to hang out with him, and so I'm sure that was awesome to see them. And then he is continuing on, and he sends in this video.
Good morning, Ramdino. Update from Master Splinter and Leo at I Suck at Hiking. We passed 1,000 miles yesterday. We passed into West Virginia today, heading into Harpers Ferry right now. We'll be there this afternoon. Still going strong. Everyone's doing really well. The trail's been absolutely fantastic, meeting lots of new people up here, and interested to see what my number is when I get to Harpers Ferry. So there's your update. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll update you guys soon.
Arkansas hiker, he is north of Irwin and sends in this video.
Hi Ramdino, it's the Arkansas hiker coming to you from the outskirts of Irwin. The trail from Hot Springs has been pretty good with only one morning of rain. There's been just a few minor blowdowns, but most of them have been cleared. Big Ball views were magnificent, only second to Max Patch. So feeling good, hitting mile 344.6 as I pull into Uncle Johnny's, and looking forward to the rest of the trail coming up after I take a zero and continue to monitor and let my injuries heal. You have a great day. God bless you, and God bless your channel. Arkansas out.
He says the trail continues to be good from Hot Springs to Irwin. He's knocking out bigger miles now. He's averaging somewhere around 17 miles a day. He said the views from Big Bald you heard were just awesome. And when he was in Hot Springs, he said lots of hikers there didn't know if there was a resupply between Hot Springs and Irwin, so they were carrying 45 days worth of food. So out of Hot Springs. So obviously that's a lot more weight. He said there is a hostel there that's in between there, and that's on gut hooks. And you can go and find them there. That's not a hostel that's right on trail. So it's around Sam's Gap, and you can you'll find it there on gut hooks if you're a hiker out there doing that. And they apparently have a resupply, but you'll have to get a shuttle to there if you decide to stay there or you need to resupply. He also indicated he's been having some Achilles tendon and plantar fasciitis issues up there, and he sent out a warning that the Spring Mountain shelter is heavily infested with mice. So keep that in mind. A lot of them out there do have a pretty significant mice population, but he says that's infested. Slow and steady, he sends in this update from the trail just short of the 501 shelter.
Hey, quick public service announcement at Rouse Shelter, about 2 shelters ago. We stopped there last night to camp, but there was a big timber rattler cozying up right next to the shelter, and there was a big black snake in the shelter on the rafters having a good time looking for mice. Don't mind him, but I didn't feel like cozying up to the timber rattler. Check out the video. I'll embed right now. If you hear that sound on the video, just remember, walk the other way. So far, Pennsylvania has been mostly smooth with a chance of rocky, and I think after Port Clinton, maybe you can let viewers know and let me know. After Port Clinton, I understand it's rocky with a very, very, very slight to zero chance of smooth. Anyway, hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for everything you do, Ramdino. This is Slow and Steady with Hiking with Slow and Steady. Anyone wants to check me out on YouTube, go for it. And on the way to Katahdin. Catch up soon. Bye.
Hey Ramdino, Stretch here, just passing through Bald. It was pretty foggy, we didn't get a view today, but the weather has broke, it's not raining anymore. There's about 6 of us in this group hiking through and just really enjoying the weather and enjoying being outside. So thanks for what you're doing and keep it up.
And Boo-Rah and Buttercup from a week ago didn't send me an update this week, but they sent it in a little late last week, so I couldn't get to it. But they have made it past Woods Hole, so that is awesome to them, so they are well north. So any other hikers out there that want to send me in your updates, we hadn't got to the folks that are off trail yet, but send me in your updates. You can do that through Facebook, Instagram. You can do that through down below is a link to those, as well as email. Send me a video, a 30-second video is awesome. Like to include those if we can. Some folks have an iPhone, and for some reason it's not letting them send it through just a regular attachment. That's the best way you can do that. Although don't let that discourage you if you have to send it through a cloud-based attachment. I can work with that, but it takes a lot more for me to do that. I may not have time to do it. So if you can make it as an attachment to Facebook or Instagram, those have been working for most people very well. So some folks that got off trail, 007, he has been an updater here, and he had to get off due to some injuries out there and some new injuries, but also some old injuries that have flared themselves up. He's not sure if he's going to be able to get back on, but he said that he hiked 270 miles of this beautiful trail. He met some great people, saw some unbelievable views, and he's always going to look back on this time with a smile on his face. So that is awesome. So glad to hear that you got what you could out of the trail, 007. And then AD Shiley, he has not been a regular updater here, although he did start, and he did update us when he got started on his Subo flip-flop, which was April 20th, and he has had to get off for good. He said it was mighty dry going south out of Harpers Ferry, and he had to get some water donations from some Boy Scouts and some day hikers that were out there, but he was having a combination of dehydration and bad knees, and so it was just not going to be feasible for him to continue his hike. So he is thinking about coming back as a trail angel and passing out water and other stuff for folks. So that is awesome when people get off the trail, whether they finish or not, for them to come out and do trail angel work. That's really neat. So appreciate that, AD Shiley. Sorry that those things flared up, but the biggest thing is, you know, whether you finish or not, you have made the attempt to get out here and do it, and I think that is awesome for somebody to do that. And then some other awesomeness going on here. I want to thank everybody for your support out there, just your comments. Most folks have just really, really great comments of support, and I greatly thank you for doing those. 99% of them are awesome. So thank you very much for doing that. Thanks for your thumbs up and your subscriptions. All those help bring more people to the channel, and that's important because it's a community channel and you provide the news for it. I just report it. And so, but we want to get as many people welcomed into the hiker community as we can, so that they can come out and be a part of this great community that we have. So thank you folks for support. Thank you for all the Patreon members that are out there. Greatly appreciate your support for that. And also thank you for folks that give super thanks. Some folks that gave super thanks this week that wanted to give a special shout out to, and that was Bluebird, Carolyn Benson, and MCK One Dad. So thanks a lot for your super thanks. Greatly appreciate that. The link for that is down below. And of course, we got merchandise out there that folks purchase from time to time that also help support the channel. And you could have one of this really neat dry fit Blaze shirts, and hey, you might find people following you around with these white Blaze shirts. But anyway, you can find that there on the merchandise store. And don't forget that I have said that anybody that has purchased merchandise in the past or now or whenever, bring that with you, wear that with you to trail days, and come and find me, or take a picture of your coffee mug or something like that, or your sticker that you bought, and come and find me at trail days with it on your phone or on your person. And I've got a special gift for you to give to you, just as a special way of saying thanks to you. And then, of course, if you're a Patreon member, I want to come and find all those from my Patreon community and really the hiker community in general, although the gift is limited because I've only got a limited amount of those to the Patreon members and those folks who have shopped at the merch store. So thanks a lot for you folks that do that. And I'll go ahead and throw in the folks that are giving me a super thanks as well for that special gift. So come and find me, but come and find me anyway at Trail Days. If you're over in the family-friendly area, we'll be around Big Red, where there's a pop-up shelter. So come along, and possibly OG will be there as well. Come along, hiked in 2022, and OG hiked last year in 2023. So come along's been my hiking partner for years, and y'all have probably seen him on the videos. And OG's been with me on the Foothills Trail. So come on over and say hey to us. Love to meet you. Love just to hang out and talk trail, talk gear, what have you. So some news we got going on out there. The Sadie search continues. We have determined now, we feel like that Sadie was possibly abducted. We've covered every area of around Max Patch that can be covered as far as logging roads, trails. We've talked with the community. We've put out flyers. We've had a lot of folks come out and have done ground searches. We've had a lot of people that are online looking for Sadie in different shelters and stuff like that, and certainly anybody can do that. But we feel like she may have been abducted. We have a plausible sighting of her at the NOC down in Wesser, and so there were some folks there that had indicated they have positively 95% sure this was Sadie that was with another hiker. We don't have a great description of the other hiker. We've heard that he's tall with black hair and tall with short hair, but in any case, it has been a male. We feel like it's a white male, only because statistically that's what it would be on the Appalachian Trail. But we feel like she has been abducted there, and so we are looking for anybody that's got a picture of that abduction, or maybe a hiker on trail past Sadie with somebody else. Maybe you petted Sadie or something, or even took a picture, or maybe Sadie's in a picture in the background of a picture you took. Or as you're on other websites and other Facebook forums or other forums or other videos, watching those, maybe Sadie's in the background there. So we would love to be able to figure out where she got to as far as after the knock, or even at the knock. We'd like to see something of that. So as you folks look at other hikers' videos and pictures on Instagram, just look in the background if you could for Sadie, and see if you can send those pictures to me. See if maybe that you could see who she might be with there. So we're just, we feel like that's what happened. And if that be the case, then this hiker could be a Sobo through hiker, could be a Sobo section hiker finishing up his hike and he could have, rather than, if he's not from this area, not within driving distance, he would have flown, taken a bus, taken a train, in which case he is bad enough to abduct a dog. He's probably not going to spend the money to transport her. So she may be in a shelter somewhere between Max Patch, which is in North Carolina, and Atlanta. So if you're out there anywhere from those areas, or even not from those areas, and you can go to one of those Facebook pages at those shelters and lost dog forums and things like that in any of those counties, we will greatly appreciate you helping us in this search for Sadie. So on to some other things. The Whispers, our northern correspondent, he indicates that the huts are not open yet. There are some huts that are open for self-service in the winter, and that's Lonesome Lake, Zealand Falls, Misc Spring, and Carter Notch. And by self-service, that means pretty much that they may have a latrine, or a latrine, it's like in the military again, a privy, or they may have some water there, but they're not open for shelter or food or anything like that. May 26th to the 29th, they're closed completely, and then they open up May 30th for full service during the hiker season. So just keep in mind, of course, most people aren't getting close to the whites now, but if you are getting close or you're going to flip up or something, keep that in mind. He also wanted to let us know how things go up there this time of year, what folks can expect. So particularly, we've got the one calendar year Triple Crown that's hiking up there right now. So he said that a lot of times, you know, you'll start down at the bottom at a lower elevation. It'll be in the mud and black fly season, and then you'll get on the melty, he calls it a monorail, where there's just, you know, a single section of ice in the middle of the trail, in the middle of the treadway, and then all of a sudden it goes to snow and ice, and even snow moving in hypothermic situations once you get up to elevation. And in fact, we have had a rescue this past week up in the Bigelows, where folks had to go in and they didn't get the message to get in until 11 p.m. And so it was an all-nighter where they didn't come out until dawn. So they had to get in, get to the hiker where he was at, get him warmed up. They did find the hiker, did save him, did get him warmed up to get him out of a hypothermic situation. Had to build a fire to make that happen. And then once they got him warmed up and enough nutrition in him, enough food and water, that he was able to walk out on his own with them. So, that goes, thanks goes out to the Franklin Search and Rescue in that area up there in the Bigelows. Thanks a lot, guys and girls, whoever participated in that. We appreciate y'all just willing to go out and literally put your life on the line to rescue hikers that go in and get in trouble like that. We got trail days coming up, so that is coming up the weekend after Mother's Day. As I mentioned, I'll be there, so if you're a Patreon or Super Thanker, or somebody that's purchased merchandise, or somebody, you know, those folks in general, come up and find me. I got a special gift for you, but of course I want all of the hiker community to reach out, you know, come and reach out to me. Love seeing you out there. A lot of you are subscribers and everything, so just really neat to have that time with the hiker community up there and just be amongst 5,000 people that you know and you got something in common with in some way, shape, or form. So looking forward to seeing all of you out there at trail days. Speaking of trail days and trail festivals, so I had put out a list of trail festivals last week based upon a viewer's questions about trail festivals up and down the trail. And Back Scratcher, a viewer, had sent in that I had made a mistake on that. So one of those I'd mentioned was Waynesboro, Virginia. So it is not Waynesboro, Virginia. Back Scratcher is from Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, and that is where the correct Waynesboro is for the Hiker Fest, and that's set for June 8th. So wanted to make that correction. Back Scratcher, greatly appreciate you sending in the correction to that mistake. So I am certainly one that makes mistakes on a regular basis, and folks here know that they can tell in and correct me at any time on a mistake such as that. So thanks a lot, Back Scratchers. Some bear warnings we got out there. So the Great Smokies has issued a caution for the Molly's Ridge and the Russell Field shelter there at Nobo Mile 178 and 181. So those are the first shelters you come to in the Smokies. Once you leave Fontana, and a bear caution. So they didn't say they were closed. So bear caution to me means that a bear has been sighted near those shelters or coming around those shelters. If he had gotten aggressive, they probably would have closed those shelters. Certainly if he had come into the shelter or stolen food or hurt somebody, then they may have relocated it. If he hurt somebody, they would probably have put that bear down. So make sure we are practicing good bear hang with your food bag and anything else smelly, including your toothpaste and sunscreen. And if you use deodorant, most of you don't, that's cool, fine. Most of us are stinky hiker trash, don't need to, but some people like to, and there's not a problem with that. But that smells, and so you need to get that up in either the bear cables or a bear hang or the bear box, wherever you're going to put that. And then the ATC also received a report of a food conditioned bear at Rube Rock Trail, which is Nobo mile 251. So there is a food conditioned bear there. Food conditioned meaning he's going to come around to food if he can smell that food. And then ATC also received a report of a habituated bear around Stand-In Indian Shelter, which is Nobo mile 86. So most of the, everybody's pretty much through that Nobo mile 86, because that's down at the southern end of the trail. However, there are still people that are flip-flopping that are going that way, and Sobo that are going that way, and then just section hikers and day hikers that are out there. So all of you need to be practicing good food and smelly stuff discipline while you're out there. They also asked that you please submit a report if you come across the bear, and the criteria for doing that is if he enters a campsite or a shelter area, he attempts or did steal food, was aggressive towards you or another hiker, or a pet, meaning a dog. I don't see a lot of people bringing goldfish, lizards, and occasionally a cat, but not too often. So by pet, they mean a dog. If he damaged property, if he was following you while hiking, if he was acting strangely, wasn't scared of loud noises, persistent in his pursuit of humans, followed you or another hiker while he was fixating on you, didn't show fear, if he seemed sick or diseased. And the ATC also indicates that the bear's rectal temperature is 101. So if you come across a bear that his rectal temperature is 101 and 5/10, that is a fever for a bear, and you need to go ahead and send in that report to the ATC, and you can go to their webpage and find a way to where their report form is that you can fill out. So the magic number is 101 and 5/10. Okay, moving right along here. We've got lots of we got lots of hikies and hikers that are coming into the shanties right now. And so there's some information you need to know about what's going on in the shanties. So Elk Wallow Wayside and Matthews Arm Campground, they are closed. For the time being, they're going to be closed at least through the middle of May, and that's Nobo mile 953 and 955. There's a wildfire that came through there and damaged some electrical work, and so all that's got to be fixed and repaired, and so all of that is going to be closed until that can be done so. And so hikers and visitors that area, you should not expect any shelter there, no food, no water, no camping, none of that there at any of those areas. Folks, that's all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.